What's going on, YouTube? Gabe right here representing the movement towards improvement. Get some. Today's video, guys, I'm going to share with you how I was using the drill from the last video, the hip hiking drill, to improve my golf swing. So here on the right is some of the footage from my last video, okay? Let me show you what I was doing again. I am crunching the sides of my body, okay? So right here you can see the right hip gets higher, the left shoulder drops. Okay, and I do the opposite to the opposite side, or the same to the opposite side, my apologies. So as you can see, this is technically called left side lateral bend and right side lateral bend, okay? The spine is actually bending in different ways. Now let me show you how I'm actually using this to help my golf swing, help the rotation of my hips in the backswing and downswing. So over here on the left, this is one of the very first swings with my session with Kelvin in Hawaii. So this had to have been maybe the very last week of October. Okay, I've been working on this stuff for 5 months, and in this video I'm going to share with you some of the changes I've seen in my swing and how this has helped my game. Now as I go to my backswing, just like I mentioned in the video, one of the things Kelvin pointed out to me was if I go up to the top of my backswing is that my right hip is considerably higher than my left. Okay, and also one of the things you're going to see is on the backswing, if I were to draw a line right through the belt buckle, okay, and if I take this back up, you're going to see right about here, you see that belt buckle actually begin to drop below that line. Okay, so my belt buckle is dropping and my right hip is getting considerably higher than my left. Now let me share with you what Kelvin showed me what the best players in the world do, the guys that hit the farthest and straightest. So here we have Dustin Johnson, okay? The guy's a beast, all right? He's already played so well in so many tournaments this year, and he hits it a friggin' mile. So all I did was draw a line right through his belt buckle, and as you can see, as I take him up to the top of his backswing, his belt buckle's staying the same height, and his hips are staying level. And that's all I'm looking at right now. Hips staying level, belt staying high. Now, who else could I show you? Mr. G. Woodland, Mr. Gary himself, the little gorilla he is. Once again, I'll just draw this line right through his belt buckle and take him up. And as you can see, it stays the same height, and his hips look level. You're not going to see really the left look higher than the right or the right look higher to his left. So he's able to rotate. Another swing I could show you guys is Mr. Hunter Mahan. Okay, that's how it's pronounced. Not Mahan, Mahan. Now, once again, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Draw right through his belt, and as you can see, the belt is staying the same height, okay, staying nice and tall, and the hips are rotating on more level axis. I'm not even sure if that makes sense. So, you know, that's why once again I mentioned I have so much comfortability and trust in what Kelvin's teaching me, because once you see every single pro do this, or the majority of them, I can say to myself, okay, I know no pros do that. That's something I need to do, and as you will see, it's a bigger problem than you might think. Okay, so let me show you how I'm working on this, right? I'm using the hip hiking drill to really pull this left hip up on the backswing. Okay, that's the first thing I'm working on, because if I don't rotate and load up properly onto that back side, then it's going to be very, very hard for me to unload properly in the downswing. So as you can see over here, this is my swing from yesterday's video. You can see I'm practicing trying to keep that left hip really high and even high on the downswing. So let me show you kind of the differences between these two. So I'm going to go up to the top, and as you can see, if I draw a little line through my belt, you can see the hips are staying much more level and much more taller. Okay, I'm going to pause that, and just at the very end it'll start dropping, but as you can see in the differences between these two, I got this huge slant over here. Okay, this belt buckle is taller, and the hips are level, so it looks very good. Look, I'm going to zoom in there for you guys so you can get a real good close-up. Now, because I'm actually loading better, okay, I'm staying taller with the hips, keeping the hips more level, watch what happens as I go down, okay? So we're going to go to, let's say, left arm parallel, okay? That seems like a good spot to be in. Boom, stop that. Now, one of the things you're going to see, once again, is there's still a decent slant here, and also look how much more my left knee is bent, because in transition I would really throw a lot of pressure, a lot of weight into that left foot. Now here on the right, I'm keeping these hips nice and level like I want to, and I'm actually rotating better, so you're going to see less left knee flex because I'm actually beginning to rotate the pelvis earlier in the swing. So if we take this one a little bit farther down, let's say to right there. I like it when you do it right there, right there. I don't know if you guys ever heard that song. That's from Chingy. Okay, so once again, you're going to still see quite a bit of left knee flex. Okay, and at this point, the left leg should be straightening with the left side of the hip going backwards so that the right side of the hips can come forward and we begin to rotate. Okay, the more you're rotating through the ball, the more speed you're going to be able to have, the more you're going to be able to pull the club through, keeping that lag and more stability. People, come on, you know what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm being obnoxious right now. So anyways, if you come into impact, one of the things you're going to see as well is over here on the left in Hawaii is one of my biggest problems I had when I came to Kelvin is contact. I never made good contact with the ball, mostly toe-y, heavy shots, and especially when I got to the long irons, it was nearly impossible for me to make good contact. So as you can see, both arms are straightening and extending more. There's not much shaft lean, and even though I'm not working on getting my hands more head, getting more shaft lean, I'm just really working on the pelvis. I think it's helping me get a little bit more of the hands ahead. My right arm isn't straightening as quick, and because of that, I'm actually making a lot better contact. Like that shot I hit in yesterday's video was freaking pure. Like I impressed myself. I mean, it was insane. So once again, you can see this left leg a little bit straighter. I'm already rotated a lot better right here. You can see a little bit differences in the hands and arms, but I'm actually just getting through the ball better. As in terms of over here, you're gonna see this belt, you know, maybe right about here. If I were to draw a little dot on there, it's not gonna rotate much. It's mostly gonna go more up. Okay, it's going a little more up and than it is rotating. Okay, so you can see there's kind of a stop, fire of the hands, and it's just kind of causing me my inconsistencies and this bad contact. Not much rotation. And over here, you know, like I said, I'm getting through the ball a lot better. Okay, so you can see a lot more rotation. And you guys, you don't need to see a massive amount of difference, but if you can get a little bit better rotation, get the hands a little bit more ahead, I mean, for me, that's made a huge difference in ball striking and accuracy, especially as I creep into the long irons. Okay, so now let me show you what this looks like from a down the line perspective. Okay, you know, in our membership site, in our Facebook group, I'm always telling people to make sure they send a face on and down the line. Now, one of the things I want to show you is people always thought my backswing looked good, and I'm going to kind of run through this swing here in a little bit of fast motion. Okay, you know, people have always told me I've had a good-looking swing, but it's never performed well. And out of all my friends, I've always hit the ball the worst, and I knew something was wrong. Okay, I just didn't know what it was. I always used my Casio camera, always used to look at my swing in slow motion, but I just didn't know what to look for. So, you know, here it is in fast motion. You go, oh, you know, it kind of looks good on top of the backswing, and then Gabe gets to a nice finish, nice balance, rotated. But there was something, as you could see from face on, that during the impact interval, a lot of that hands extending, the flipping, and the slowing down of the body caused a lot of inconsistencies for me. So now, let's say we just take it up to the top. You'll see, once again, watch this belt. Watch how it's going to kind of dip down, and this right hip's going to get higher. You can still even see it from this angle. Okay, see how the body's actually already starting to get into a squat, and that left hip's way too far down. So now, on the right, and hell, let me zoom in for you guys again as I go up to the top. And I'm sorry, this wasn't as in many frames per second. I didn't plan on even making a video that other day, but as you can see, the belt buckle is going to be a little higher, just like I showed from face on, and the left hip is higher. I'd actually like it to be a little bit higher, but this is actually a pretty normal swing. This is full speed for me, so not all my patterns are fully ingrained yet, but it's still very much better. So now, as I start the downswing, let's go maybe right about here. Okay, so as you can see, here on the right, the golf club head is in very similar positions, but I'm already more rotated over here with the lower body, and maybe even slightly with the upper body. But let me go a couple more frames and we'll see where I'm at. Okay, so as I go into both impact, you can see how much more rotated I am with the lower body here on the right. Got this left leg, once I said, coming back, kind of more like Hogan. Hogan just did that beautifully. Okay, and the right side's going a little more through. And even the upper body, you know, the upper body might be actually a little more rotated as well, which once again just helps with the stability, helps with the speed, keeping the hands ahead, which is a very good thing. You don't want the shoulders very square to the target at impact, or else it might cause a little bit of a flip or a bit of a roll. So now what I want to show you something is, look over here on the left. I mean, this is where everything happened that you can't really see with the naked eye in full speed is the body completely stops at maybe right here. I mean, if I were to put just a little line right here on the back of that belt loop, look how this thing's not moving at all. I mean, it's very little rotation through the ball. You can see the arms fire, catch up to the hands really quick, and this is where I was getting my contact problems because the body was slowing. I'm throwing the arms, and especially as I got into long irons and drivers, this was really causing me problems. You know, short irons and wedges I can get away with, hit the green, not close, but it's not going to cause a lot of problems. So as you can see, lower body's not working, and the hands just really speed up, adding loft. I could always hit a very spinny ball flight, very hard for me to play into the wind or hit a very well penetrating ball flight. And that's why a lot of players hit the ball further than me. So now over here on the right, once again, sorry for the frames per second, you can even see, let's see if we go to very similar positions right there. Once again, here on the right, I mean, you could just see so much more rotation of the lower and upper body, and you could see how the club over here on the left is really catching up. It's really firing past the body. And even right here, you can see how the club's actually still out in front of my hand. So that means body's speeding up really well. I'm giving myself more space. I don't really know how to explain this yet, but I'm giving myself more space when the lower body's working in a more rotary action, and it starts going more out this way. The lower body's actually going a little more goat humpy, and it's kind of thrusting more out that way. So it's hard for me to really explain, but I'm giving myself more space for this club to actually travel more left. And you can even see, I mean, everything just looks better through the ball, and I'm actually getting rotated. So, and you know, this is the thing, is in fast motion, okay, if you check this out, I mean, fast motion, you know, people might not even think my swing even looks that much different, okay? You can see that. I mean, people look at that finish, they go, wow, that's a good swing, Gabe. And over here, you know, I mean, look at the finishes. The finishes look the same. I mean, the top of the backswing looks very similar too. I mean, so what you can't see is that half a second during the impact interval. That's the most important, you guys. So anyways, as you can see, I'm just getting through the ball better. This has helped my contact with all clubs, but more importantly, I'm excited the most about is my long irons. I always struggle with my long irons, and because of that flip and extension of the arms and the lower body slowing down, I mean, you guys seen on some of my course vlogs, like you throw a forehand in my hand and it becomes a nightmare for me. So being able to rotate, this is a 5-iron I'm hitting in both videos because I wanted you to compare, you know, the same club. I mean, I'm just getting up and through the ball just slightly better. And you guys, like I said, you don't need to see a huge massive change, but you improve a lot of the areas just by a little bit, and it makes a big difference. Now, this hip hiking drill, before I finish, why is this good for me? Because I'm actually contracting the muscles I need to right here, and that's what I'm focusing on the backswing, right? Keeping that left hip high. And I'm also thinking about the downswing. That's just for me, though. Most people don't need to work on that. But you can also see how I'm actually getting a right side lateral bend right here, and I'm lifting that right hip high. Now, who would that be good for? You know, I have a lot of students, and actually I shouldn't say that. I don't have a lot of students, but I do have quite a few students. And one of the biggest problems I see is too much sliding, too much lateral motion. So here's my buddy Josh. He came down for a quick lesson. And as you can see, as he comes into the ball, there's going to be more of a slide, a little bit more of a jump. But, you know, if you could kind of guess, his hips are actually working with that right hip lower. So he's the opposite of me. Okay, so you'll see people that have a big slide end up having the right hip too low. So this would be a good drill over here for him to do, is the hip hiking drill, because on the downswing, he actually needs to feel like his right hip is higher and his left hip is lower. Okay, let me show you one last quick video before we leave and you guys go about your day. So once again, if you look at Josh here, you can see it's a little bit more of a lateral motion, a little bit more of a jump. Now, if we look at the farthest hitters of the ball in the world, here on the right, I got Jamie Sadlowski, 2-time world long drive championship, probably pound per pound the world's longest hitter. Now, we like to study these guys because they have to rotate the most. Okay, so let me bring him up to the top and watch how his pelvis actually looks like, if anything, they're level or the right side's actually a little bit higher. So that's actually what you're going to want. Now, for me, it all depends how much you're doing it and at what time you're doing it. Let's say the left hip's supposed to drop in the downswing, but when do you start? I was doing mine way too early in the backswing, and that was causing off a misfiring in the sequence. So for a slider like Josh, he's going to want to feel like that right hip staying higher like Jamie Sadlowski, the left hip's lower, and that he's actually pulling this left leg back. As you can see, Josh is a little bit more stacked on his left side, and you can kind of see this angle right here with Sadlowski. So that's what a slider is going to feel like. So that hip hiking drill is not only good for people like me, but it's also good for people who slide a lot. So you guys, this is Gabriel right here. Damn, this is a long video, but I want to give you guys some content. This hip hiking drill, even though it's simple, I think is a gem and can, like I said, actually be relative to a lot of people's swing. So you guys, make sure, hopefully you learned something on how the pelvis should work a little bit more in the backswing, a little more downswing. We have more drills, and we cover this particular topic more in depth in the membership site. And once again, you guys, I don't see a lot of people talking about this stuff in detail. And the pelvis is like the engine in your golf swing. I mean, this is a pivotal part that's going to help influence the golf club's route on the backswing and downswing, the speed of your swing, etc. So you guys, thanks for watching. Once again, subscribe. I'm going to be pumping out a lot more videos this year on the golf swing. As I improve mine, I'm going to share with you guys. Hit me up on Facebook, Gabriel M. Ryder, Instagram, PGA Tour Driven, membership site, mti.gabrielryder.com. It is a lifetime membership right now until I change that as soon as I build a marketing video for that, which will be done in the next week or two. So you guys, if you watch this video, 19 minutes, I know you're serious about the game. If you want to learn more about this type of stuff, check out my membership site. If not, I will definitely, slowly leave the breadcrumbs out for you guys over these months. But to you guys' success, keep up the good work. Thanks for your support. I'm out of here. Peace.